Welcome. What do we have here? Okay. Right. Right. Welcome to our lecture. Sage Pastel. Actually, it's not Sage Pastel. It's Enterprise Resource Planning. That's the one we are doing. Enterprise Resource Planning. Last time we were here, we didn't manage to do our lecture. So we are going to, so it's enterprise resource planning. Last time we were here, we didn't manage to do our lecture properly, so we're going to start over again. I can see there is one participant so far. I've got one participant. I need right, yes. Share this. I've got one participant so far. Can we join the lesson so that we proceed together? Can we all join so that we proceed together? I'm going to be demonstrating how this works. So if we can join, so far I can see one participant, right, with me. It's just only me who is connected. Can we have others? Can we connect so that we are together? We connect. So far, I've got only one participant with me. And, okay, I'll be waiting for others to join. To join lecture, right? So that we are all right. It's only me who is joined, and right. Can we have participants? I'm waiting. So far, it's only me joined. Right, do we have somebody? Yes, we now have, but Shah joined. Can we have more participants? Can we have more participants? Right. We now want to start our lesson. We want to start our lesson. I only have one participant joined. Can we join so that we proceed together? We are going to be doing starting over from the beginning. So we want all of us to be participating. So that I do not start over again. Right. Okay. Only for two participants, myself and Yansha. I think we'll wait until probably 20 minutes to, then we'll continue. But we are doing level 3, enterprise resource planning. That's what we are going to be doing. And we are going to start from the beginning. Because the last time we tried to do this lecture, we were not very successful. We said we are using search evolution in doing our lecture, and we are beginning from the initial stage. I assume that I'm assuming that the search evolution has been installed on your machines. It should have been installed on your machine so that you are able to practice. Right. Okay, but as an introduction, there's a chart there, let me see. Nasha, can you post on the group so that Mr. can give you the password? Right. Just post on the WhatsApp group. Post on the WhatsApp group so that you can get the password to connect. You can get the link and the password to connect. Just post on the WhatsApp group, the August exam WhatsApp group. so that you just type in here, post on the WhatsApp group, press I'll get the password so that I can proceed. I'm waiting. All right, we are now three. We are now three, right, which is good. Which is good. We are now three. Can we post on the WhatsApp group and get the password? Let me know if you've got the password so that we proceed. I'm just you're waiting for others to join so that we proceed together. I'm still waiting for, I now have three, which is okay. I think we'll give, we'll start quarter to 11. I think we'll start so that we don't disadvantage those who have joined. The rest, they'll catch up with us on the way. Yes, catch up with us. So, just want to know, are you connected? So that I can begin. We're going to start quarter two, we're beginning quarter two, we're starting so that we starting at quarter two. Yes, I'm now getting ready to start. Yes, our lecture is on enterprise resource planning. Enterprise resource planning software, so to say, and we are using Sage Evolution for demonstration. But this topic, it has to do with enterprise resource planning, so which are many. The well-known is Sage Evolution. You've got your SAP, SAP. Some they want to call it SAP, some they want to call it SAP, right? But there are a number. Some they are internet-based. In other words, they are on internet, right? But we find here in Zimbabwe, mostly we've got SAP. Then we also have got Sage Evolution. We've got Sage 300. We've got Cisco. We've got Micro Dynamics. Right. So there are a number of them. But we find government departments and municipal government departments and parastatals in Zimbabwe. The majority of them, they use SAP. Right. It's a German software, and they prefer using SAP. But small to medium companies and municipalities, they use Sage Evolution. If you go to those organizations, they use Sage Evolution. And enterprise resource planning software, this software it more functions. It's doing more functions besides doing just accounting. If you take, for example, Pastel Partner I know what the accounting. That's using it for managing your financial information, your account. That's your Pastel Partner. But now when you go to an enterprise resource planning software, it's now doing more. It will manage your accounting, it will manage your human resource, it will manage your distribution, it will manage your sales and marketing. So it's doing more than the basic financial accounting. That's where the enterprise resource planning comes in. It's one system which is managing all the functions of the business. And mostly it's used by large corporates. I shall explain a small organization was saying if you get to an organization and they ask you to recommend a software, depending on their size, you can't recommend why? Because one is expensive, two, it's gigantic, you can't run it in a small organization. It can only run in a big organization. So, you open up in the enterprise resource planning software. Akanaka chete kuti anenge ari synchronized. The whole organization is running on the same platform. Hamusi kuda kuti mune imwe software inoita zvehuman resource, neimwe software inoita zveaccounting, neimwe software inomanage zvemacustomers, and so on and so forth. But yangonakira chete kuti zvinhu zvese muzviita on one platform, on one software. But in terms of costs, at times it's costly. In terms of managing it, at times it requires expertise because I see software management. But it's also now for our purposes, for the studies of this module, we will use Sage Evolution. Sage Evolution, the background of it is that evolution or Pastel Evolution is a South African software. And it's in a background of Sage UK. That's where the Sage Evolution is coming in. So you'd find that you've got the Sage Evolution standard, and it is the standard, then you've got the Sage Evolution Premium. In it, there's a wonder software, you manage a lot of things, but this is for our studies. We're just going to show you how to use it to do accounting. Mostly, if you are to join an organization in Zimbabwe, they use it basically for accounting. And that's what we're going to be showing you, how to use Sage Evolution for accounting. My assumption is that this software has been installed on your laptop. You should have this software. If you don't, then you have to bring your laptop to the office. Yeah, the office is open, you can bring it, then they will make the installation. Why? Because you have to be practicing. There is no way you can get a grasp in as much as we are lecturing, in as much as we are giving information. But for you to be grounded in using this software, you have to have it installed on your laptop so that you can practice. So if you don't have it, I urge you to come to the office and have it installed. So first things first, you have to have your software installed. When you have your software installed, initially it won't have, mine has got a database, and it, see here, when you click it, it will bring up this window. Log into Sage Evolution. I'm assuming this should be version 7. Then Sage Evolution. Then Sage Evolution uses agent. Agent, this is your user. Then this is the user name. This is the user password. Then the company database is here. If you remember from your studies of Sage Pastel Partner, the first thing that you have to do before working in any accounting software or in any software that has to do with accounting, you have to create what we term a Kanban file. You can create as many Kanban files as you can. Right? You can create as many databases as you can. So here already we had created this ABC Limited as a database. But this is not the first port of call. Because to Dior kushandisa this evolution for the first time. Saka haitorina this ABC limited. China chete is this icon on the desktop, this icon, this one, which when you double click it, it brings up this window, which is going to open, right? Okay, let's just wait for it to open. Yes. This window. So when it brings up this window, Makan's agent, it will be blank, it will be blank, there won't be anything. Makan's ABC, there won't be anything because you haven't created any Kanban database. So the first thing that you have to know, that you have to do is to create a Kanban database. That's the first thing. And how do you do that? When this window loads up, you have to click on new. So you click on new. Then when you click on new, it brings up this window. You see this window, right? Create new Sage evolution database. Then you have to come up here and look up for the SQL server name. You have to know this name. It's very important. So you come up here, you click up this drop-down arrow, right? When you click it, it will bring up the SQL server names that are there, right? It could be one, it could be. Now, I know the SQL server name, so I'll click it. This one, I can Zika-001. You see this first part, I can Zika-001. This is my computer name. Is the computer name of this computer name. Then this part, I can Berlina HRV2 is the SQL server, is the SQL server sort of database. So the combination of the computer name and the SQL server name forms the database. So you have to pick up this. It has to be accurate, because if it is not, you will face challenges. So you select it, like what I've done. Then you come here. There are two authentication methods. You don't have to worry about knowing what is NT authentication, what is SQL server authentication. You just need to know there are two authentication methods. Now, when you know that, the first thing that you have to do is you come here, you click on use SQL server authentication. Then you click log in, you click SA, login name, click SA, you don't put anything on the password. Then you come back, you click on use Windows NT authentication. Then you come here now, you type in the new database name or your Kanban database name or your Kanban name. And let's say we had ABC Limited. Let's say our Kanban name is ASC Limited, right? So this will be your Kanban database name. Then here in this a NSI database character set, Unicode database character set. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about it. What you have to be concerned with is picking up the correct SQL server name here. Make sure you pick up the correct one. Then you make sure that first you select here, you select SA, then you go back to use Windows authentication. Then you type in your Kanban name or your Kanban database that you want to create. Then here, leave it as it is. Then click on next. Right. When you click on next, it will take you to this window, common database. Then it says whatever it says. You find that the other areas are great. You don't have to do anything there. You just have to proceed by clicking on next. Then it will take you to this window, right? I hope we are benefiting. I hope I'm loud and clear, right? You are taken now to this window. We are continuing with creating a new database, a new Sage Evolution database. Then here now, Sage Evolution talks about head office accounting, where you are just accounting for the head office, or where you are accounting for the head office as well as accounting also for the branches, right? So when you're creating this new database, it would want to know if you are creating it for the head office or if you are creating it for the branch. Right? Now, for you to be able to create for the branch, you should have first of all created for the head office. Now, the syllabus, your syllabus, the branch head office, the branch database creation is outside your syllabus. Well, just going to show you how to create the head office database. That is enough, right? So you select head office database. Then you click on next, right? You'll be taken to this window. On this window now, we are typing in the full information of your organization. You find it will pick up ACA Limited. Then we have now to type in the full details as in address details, right? So like in this instance, I'm assuming this company is in Granite site. So we type there, Sunday Crescent, Granite site, Granite, it has to be typed professionally. Granite site, Harare, right? Then we put in the telephone number. We put in the telephone number there. Again, it has to be typed professionally so that right? If there is a fax number, you also put the fax number there so that this yes, you also put the fax number. It has to be correct. Then you also put the email address if it is there. Like in this case, it's sales@asc.co.zw, right? Then you proceed by clicking on next. So we have now put in the full details, and it has to be typed professionally because this is going to appear on your invoices. Not only that, we're also saying the customers, they'll be seeing this. They want to deal with a professional company. Once you have typed your information, you click on next. Then you are taken into the login security window. Now you can enable login security. If you enable this, what it means that you have to set the minimum password length. You also have to password archive limit. You also have to set it, right? So it all depends. If you want to make your system as secure as possible, you can activate this. Then you set these limits. But if you don't want, you can just leave it without a tick there. Don't enable login security. Then you proceed by clicking on next, right? Then when you click on next, you are taken to this window of choosing a closing date for the current financial period. Financial periods, if you remember, we spoke about this. We spoke about this when we were doing Sage Pastel Partner. We spoke about financial periods, and we said these are the months that you are doing your accounting, and we've got 12 months, January up to December. So you have to choose when you begin your financial period. Do you begin in January or do you begin in March? Right. So you should know financial period. You know, Tanga, when does it begin in January? So if it begins in January, it means it's running from January to December. Now, Makamba, they start in March. So it means if it starts in March, it's running from March to April, right? It's just for the purposes of our studies. We assume that our financial period runs from January to December. So a closing date, we are in 2021. It means we are going to choose our closing date as December 31, right? Right. 2021, then we are choosing December 31 as our closing date. Because the duty financial period is run from January 1 January up to 31 December 2021. So our closing date will be 31 December 2020. You get it? Yeah, we now have got 4 participants. If you've got any issues with me, you write on the chat. I'm watching the chat, and I'll try to respond. Right. So we have selected the closing date. Then this is the closing date that we have selected. But below here, one issue that we may want to process transactions in the previous years. Right now we are in 2021, but we may want to process transactions maybe in 2020 or in 2019, right? Or even in 2018, right? But for us, the system is enable that. Down here, we have to select how many years back do we want to be able to process my transactions? If we want just to be able to process my transactions 2 years back, we just choose 2 years, year 2. If you want year 3, we say year 3. If you want year 4, we say year 4, year 5, right? If you say year 1, it means you can only process my transactions as backdated as to 2020. If we say year 2, 2019, year 3, 2018, year 4, 2017. Izvi zvakanaka because ukasaita this, munogona kuzorealize kuti no, I think we made some errors in 2020, so we have to correct them. And zvakanaka kuti muende muna 2020 munoprocessa muripo. So we recommend, iyo by default inenge yakaselecta year 2. So you have to know, okay, up to which year do I want to be able to process backdated transactions. We're just going to select year 2 and proceed accordingly. So we select year 2, then we say next. Then we come here on selecting the structure of the general ledger, right? We have got in evolution, we have got 2 types of general ledgers. We have got the standard Ndora my own Patakaita Sage Pastel Partner. That's your standard structure general ledger, and that standard is standard. Then we have got the segmented. The segmented is a special type of general ledger structure. In Obatsira, more detailed analysis, but segmented is outside the scope of our syllabus. So we only talk about the standard general ledger. In master account, sub account, and that is the standard structure. So we are choosing standard structure. Then under text processing method, we are choosing normal text, right? There is normal text whereby once you are collecting the text, then you are remitting the text after collecting, right? Or the payments text based, right? Okay, let me re-explain this. The normal text is accrual based. Accrual in the sense that if you are registered for VAT, you invoice a customer this month. If you are in category C, registered by ZIMBABWE, put in category C. You invoice your customer this month. In other words, they assume you have collected the VAT. Next month, you have to remit that VAT. Whether the customer is paid or is not paid, that is your normal text. Accrual based. Accrual basis, right? The payments basis or the payments based, it's whereby the system is saying you have invoiced a customer and you are only going to pay your VAT after you have been paid. And it I'm told to apply with ZIMBABWE, they may allow you that. But the standard one is the normal, whereby you invoice a customer in a given month. If you are in category C, ZIMBABWE expects you to pay your VAT the following month. So in our study or in our lecture, we're going to choose normal checks. Then we click on next. Right. When we click on next now, we are taken to the window where we have to choose a chart of accounts. And we defined from our previous lectures, the Sage Pastel evolution, Sage Pastel pattern, which what is a chart of accounts? You have to know. We said it's a list of general ledger accounts. And there are many types of charts of accounts depending on the industry that you are in, right? But before you select the chart of accounts that you want, evolution gives you an option of using a character chart of accounts. And you see in here, I know my numbers. Accounting fees. It's okay. It's okay. But in I prefer to use the numeric chart of accounts, whereby it gives me account numbers as well as account description, right? So first of all, you have to select the type of chart of account that you want. Do you want the character, which does not have account numbers, or do you want the numeric, which has got account numbers? right? Once you have selected that, you now have to come here and select the chart of account that you want, depending on the organization that you are doing the accounts for. If it is an agriculture organization, the chart of accounts is different from a service organization. It's also different from a retail. It's also different from real estate. There are a number of chart of accounts, insurance, graphic, and so on and so forth. But for our studies, for our lecture, we're going just to choose the general. If ever we have to customize it, we'll do the customization accordingly, right? Once we have chosen our chart of accounts, we have to proceed by clicking on next, right? When you click on next, it takes us to Freedom Service Setup. You don't have to worry about this. Make sure the Freedom Service, don't put anything. Because if you put anything there, you know, prompt, connect to that. So don't worry about this. See, this is an enterprise, it's all software. So these guys, you know, there are many issues they bring into the software, but some of them may not be relevant to you. So you don't have to put anything there. Just leave it blank, then click on next. Now, it will take you to this window where you have to confirm your new database. Now you have to confirm your new database. So for you to confirm, just click on finish. Then it begins to create the database. You now have to sit and relax and wait while it's creating the database. So you wait for it, because it runs. You see where it is written, creating database objects. That's where it takes time, because it has to run from 1% up to 100. If there are no errors, if there are no issues there, then you'll be okay. You'd find configure a branch, it will just, you know, don't take time. So we have to give it time so that it creates the database objects, right? The important issue which I was raising while we were waiting for it to finish is that you need to get this software installed on your laptop. Right? It's very important. Why? Because unoda practice tata lecture zvakanaka kuti uzoklikawo uchiona kuti okay, how does it work, how does it go? Because if you don't do that, then you'll find it next time patinosangana futi tichange tichitaura for the same thing. I bet we'll be saying the same thing, we'll be repeating the same thing, and at times so you have to be practicing. It's accounts or practice makes perfect. You don't go to accounts, practice itself makes it perfect. Myself, for me to be able to do this thing, I keep on practicing. So come to the office, leave your laptop, allow them to do the installation, then we go to go. So we have to wait, we have to be patient. We are showing you this because you have to know. We could dive direct into capturing transactions, which is okay. But the education that we're giving you, I say, we want you to be grounded. Because you may want to go into consultants, you may want to work for an organization, you may want to do your own practice. We want you to know these things. So we are showing you from creation of the database so that you have a full understanding. Even if you are to recommend to clients or to bosses, so yes, so we have to wait for it to finish, right? I'm assuming everybody is connected, and I'm assuming you're also hearing me loud and clear. I'm assuming that it's working well. So yes. Right. Let's wait. It's now on 31%. The speed of creating the database objects, it also depends on the computer speed. No, laptop speed. If it is fast, it means you do also complete in a short time. If it is slow, it also means it will take a bit of time to complete. But the progress that we have is not bad. We're now at 36%. So let's just give it time so that that's from there. Right, yes, it's proceeding. We have to wait for it to complete. It's now at 55%. We're almost halfway. And yes, so I think we're doing fine. Let's wait for it. Isolado de ZIMBABWE. Right, okay. Let's wait for it to finish. Now at 49%. I think it's now getting halfway. It's 50. Yes, yeah. So let's wait. At least it does what it does. Yes. It's now 56%. All right, this one. I think very soon will be done. Normally, yeah, the database objects they take a bit of time. Yes, take a bit of time, but once they are done, be good to go. So yes, we just have to be a bit patient while this whatever is doing. Past halfway, almost getting the 3/4 of it. So let's just give it time so that it doesn't. I think it's good. I can now see that we have got 5 participants. It's quite good. That's what we want. Now it's only 6%. Let's proceed. This is a hands-on. This is a hands-on software. I think you remember even from your studies of QuickBooks and Pastel Partner. These things that are hands-on. These things you have to see them. You have to see them. You have to practice them. So we are installing software. As usual, because I'm telling you to, if you go for 2, 3, 4, 5 months without using this software, yes, you may have an idea. But you find you may struggle. They may wish to end up now. What's the good thing with such evolution when it gets installed on your software? It allows you to go for 5,000 transactions. Say the 5,000 transactions for 365 days. It's now expired. So you can see it. Yes, and a partner, host partner only had a window of 30 days, and it expires. Not only that, you could only even capture 200. Was it 200 transactions? Then you say that 200 transactions, then it locks up for 30 days, then it expires. But evolution now, you've got 365 days. You can go for 365 days using the software. It is almost a year. Or if you capture up to 5,000, process up to 5,000 transactions, it locks up. But still, you've got time to practice. You can, even if it expires after the 365 days, you can re-register. Then it gives you again 365 days. So it's something that you should have. It's a software that you should know. Because as I said, in Zimbabwe, it's widely used. It's widely used. It's widely used. Even in Southern Africa, it's widely used. And with the course that you are studying, this is one of the softwares that you need to know. I'm looking at somebody who's studying this course to know Search Pastel Partner, Search Pastel Evolution, QuickBooks. Yes, you need to know those softwares. Benina Payroll, you need to know them so that you become all round. Because even if you join an organization, they assume or they expect you to know these software. The SICA qualification is handy. That's touching on them, all of them. Now we are at 97%. We're almost there. I think we're left with 98. We're almost there. So yes. Very soon we'll be at 100. Right, we're now at 100%. Now it will branch, configure and branch. Doesn't take time. Writing before that doesn't take time. So wait for it to do what it does. Then once it's done, then you see that code. So you can see evolution is a bit different from partner. Because partner, when you were creating what we're creating, was so easy and fast. Now we have our company. You can see, okay, we had ABC Limited, which had been created previously, but we created AC Limited. This is what we created. Now we have to log into our company file or our database. Right? For us to log in, we type in the username or the agent. Evolution says agent. So we type in the agent, and in this case, the agent is what? Admin. And also the default password is what? Admin. Admin, just like the way it is typed here on agent. That's the same way you are going to type here on the password. See, admin, admin, right? Then you click on OK. You need to log in into your company database or your company file. Right? So you wait for it. It does what it does, updating system functions. You have to wait for it to update the system functions. Again, it takes a bit of time, but again, you have to be patient. You have to be patient with it while it is updating. Because this is it's a new database, so it has to update the system tree and update various functions, and we just have to give it time to do that. The next time we log in, it won't do the same because it would have updated previously. So we have to wait while it does what it does. Right. So we have to wait again. It's now validating evolution. So we give it the chance to do that. Yes. Okay, now you've got 7 participants. I hope we are hearing me loud and clear. Hope so. Right. So let's wait for it to validate evolution. So evolution, because it's a gigantic software, it takes a bit of time. There are many functions there. That's why it's taking time to update. It's different from your partner, because your partner doesn't have anything. No, your partner is just for basic accounting. So, when you install it, when you run it for the first time, it doesn't take all this time that you are taking with evolution. But we have to be patient because this has to happen and this has to be done. I think it's almost there. Let's get in the database structure. So wait for it. It's because of the number of modules that are in evolution. That's why it takes a bit of time, right? It's completed. So when it is completed, it brings up this window. You find this window that we are seeing, this window, is the window that we will see each time we log in. You see next time when you log in, it brings up this window, right? Here at the top, it says default transaction session date. By default, it picks the system date, right? By default, it picks the system date, your computer date, which is here. That's what it picks there. If you want to use a specific date, you can click there. But normally we are saying just need to use the system date. We assume that your computer date is what? Is correct. Then here on under options, you can select for it to always bring up this, or you can select never for it to prompt. But normally we say let it prompt you so that you make sure that you are using the correct date for processing of transactions. So you select there, you also select here, then you click on OK. Right. When you click on OK now, your evolution loads up. See, your evolution loads up. And you're now going to see the interface of your search evolution. Right. So again, we wait for it. And we see now how it differs. How does it differ from partner? Probably it's the same. I don't know. Okay, we'll see. Let's see together. That's why we are here, right? Okay, fine. Now it is loaded up. This is now your interface. This is the interface of evolution, right? This is the interface. So at the top here, you've got your menu buttons and it's file, view, dashboard, my desktop, administration, maintenance, reports, transactions, inquiries, visual reports, charts, sage intelligence, reporting, utilities, help, right? I'm going to be explaining all those so that you understand where do they come in, how do they function and everything, right? Then here you've got these menu pictures. They are shortcuts to what is here. Also, you've got these pictures here again. These are the bigger pictures, just like these pictures which are there. Again, they are shortcuts to what is here. Now, in conducting this lecture, I'm going to use these buttons which are up here. That's what I'm going to be using. Right? Once you understand what I explain here, you have understood what is also here. I'm not going to be using the pictures. I love pictures. I remember when I was in primary. Yes. I remember when I was doing my primary education. I think grade 1 to 3. See, I love pictures. I didn't like even reading those books without pictures. I love pictures, but for our study this time around, I won't be using pictures. I will be using what is up here. Once you have mastered what is up here, then I will know that you also know the pictures. Now, I'm going to start with file. This is an introduction. So I want you to be listening so that you understand what is important, what is not. I'm giving you an introduction. So starting with file, I'm going to click on file. Under file, there is nothing there. There is only the new Explorer and the closing of all windows and exiting and log off and complete exit. So if we want maybe to launch a new Explorer, just click on new Explorer and it runs and launches a new Explorer. That is if you want to. Right? Under file, there is nothing. So you can see your file for evolution is different from your file for partner. It's not the same. So it brings up a new Explorer. That is if you want. So that is for launching a new Explorer. Right? If we want to close all windows, if we had opened a number of windows in evolution and we want to close them all, you just click on close all windows. Then it will close all the windows. Right? If you want to exit and log off, you could just click on exit and log off. I've just clicked on exit, log off, so that you see what happens when you click on exit, log off. The system will exit. Okay, that's an error, access violation, address, what. We're just going to click OK, OK, OK. Right. Right. Okay. It happens with evolution at times. Let me just bring up it access. Let's bring the same. No. That is right. Let's just click OK, OK, OK. Right. So we're going to. Right, okay. We're going to click on let's bring up that error. Let me see if I can fix that error so that we'll proceed accordingly. Right. It's not removing that error. Let me close this and start again. I think there's some violation. Let me see if I can close this. Right. Let me close this. Start over again so that you follow. I want this to be flawless. So I'm just going to load on the task manager so that I use the task manager to shut down evolution. Then I will reopen it. So what we are shutting down here is evolution, the end task. Right, so we're shutting it down. Then we're going to load it up again so that we avoid those violation errors that it was bringing up. Right. So this one is an introduction. I have shown you how to create a new Kanban database, which I said it takes a bit of time, but you have to be patient because this is an enterprise resource planning software. Now we're going to log in again and continue with our introduction. And as I said, I'm urging you to have this software installed on your laptop so that you practice at home, you practice there, and get a grasp of how it works. So let's wait and allow it to load. It takes a bit of time, not a bit of time, not a very long time, but just some few seconds. I'm comparing with other softwares like Partner. Partner doesn't take time to load. Evolution, just takes a bit of minutes so that, so we have to just wait for it to load up. All right. So we wait for it to load. Loading, 18 load, right? Then it brings up this window and you say, okay. Right, so we'll be back again. And we'll continue with our introduction to on file. And as I was saying, the file that we see in evolution is different from the file that we see in Partner. Under evolution, nothing much there. Under file, we are just looking at the loading up of new Explorer, and maybe exiting and locking off. That's what we are looking at. So I'm going to continue looking at the other windows. Right. So let's wait for it to properly load. So, right, I think it's still loading. Let's give it time to load so that we proceed accordingly. we still have got time. You can see we still have got time. I think today we'll try to cover as much as we can, especially the introduction. We have to finish it, right? So under file, as I said, it's only logging off and the new Explorer. There's nothing much. Then under view, the view again is different from partner. The view that we see in evolution. This one has got nothing to do with the reports. It's just of collapsing or expanding these nodes. So again, there is nothing much there. Maybe if you want to show the system tree, we're going to talk about the system tree. If you want it shown, you can click there so that you see the system tree. This is what I term the system tree. It lists all the functions which are on search evolution. If you don't want to see it, you just remove that tick, then it's taken off. Right? So under view, maybe if you want the system tree, then no, that's what you can use. Then the dashboard. Dashboard, this is your dashboard. Right. So if you click there, it loads up your dashboard. Then this one, because it has got freedom service, it may request for this freedom service. So okay, we are not using the freedom service because it will require that we put up the internet and everything. So if we don't want that, we can just go back to where we were, right? Then in my desktop, this one now is these are your shortcuts to the various functions on evolution, right? So they are just shortcuts. Like if I want warehouse, IBTs, shoe, I could just click there, then I'm taken directly to that. If I want my calendar, I just click there, right? So these are sort of shortcuts to your particular functions, right? That is my desktop. Then administration, here there are a number of issues that you deal with, and we're going to be talking about them. Agent administration, this is where you create your users. If you remember from partner, we said users, but in evolution, we say agents. So you create your users or agents. You also create your agent groups or your user groups. There is also issue of document profiles as well as reports on the various agent groups or agent listing and everything. Right? Then you also have got system configuration. On this one, we're not going to talk about much. There's nothing much to talk about here. It has to do with the technicians, you know, the people who are managing this evolution. So for you, it will be creation of agents. That's what we're going to talk about. Then on system tree, on system tools, again, we're not going to talk about much. We're only maybe going to talk about copy Kanban. If you want to create another Kanban by copying another one, you just come here and use this as a way of creating another Kanban from copying the other Kanban. Then here on utilities, again, we're not going to talk much about utilities there. Then this one is for refreshing your reporting tree. We're also not going to talk about that. So here under administration, we're going to talk about agents and creation of agents for users. You need to know how to create agents because that's where you give rights to people access the software. So here, that's what we're going to talk about. Then we go to maintenance. Under maintenance, maintenance is the equivalent of edit in the partner. And it's a partner that end up an edit for us to create. In evolution, we go for maintenance. That's where we create everything that has to be created. General ledger accounts, customers, suppliers, inventory items, bank accounts. That's where we create. So as you can see, we've got a lot of issues here. Common text, general ledger, accounts receivable, accounts payable, annuity billing. You know, there are some items that you never met or you may not be aware of. And we're not going to talk about them. Voucher management and everything. We're going to talk about things which are relevant to your day-to-day accounting under maintenance. So we'll take a bit of time here under maintenance because that's when we create first before we get to. Right? Then the reports here, that's where you view your financial reports. If you remember in partner, we had view. Under view, that's where we viewed our reports. But in evolution, we actually have reports. That's where you see your financial reports, be it income statement, be it trial balance, be it customer reports, be it supply reports and everything, even valuations and so on and so forth. That's where you see your reports. Under reports. Then under transactions, that's where you are processing the business, the financial information. If you remember, partner end process. Process no process of the transaction, but in evolution we do that under transactions. We process the various financial information. We're going to be talking about this and showing you how you process the various transactions. Then under inquiry more or less like reports, but this one now you are making an inquiry of maybe a particular transaction. See, so again it has to do with reports or inquiring for a particular transaction. So you've got inquiries there. Then you've got your visual reports. These are graphs. If you want to see graphs for your general ledger, you also want to see graphs for inventory. You view your visual reports. The same as charts. Again, there are graphs for general ledger, for conduct management. We're not going to talk about conduct management. Even for order entry, we're not going to talk about this. So that's where you see that. Then let's continue. Then you've got your incidents. We're not going to talk about incidents. It's outside the scope of our syllabus. Requisitions outside the scope of our syllabus. Tenders again outside the scope of our syllabus. Then even say intelligence reporting. But this reporting again, it's the same reporting that we have here, but now it is now in Excel, right? You are now able to post your reports to Excel. When you click there, you are now able to extract the reports, financial reports, direct in Excel. And after capturing your information, you extract it. It's an add-on module. You know, instead of you to evolution this intelligence reporting, my reports they are extracted direct in Excel at a format of that, right? Then utilities, you have got your utilities there, your calculator, your what, mostly your calculator, then help. That's where you find help on any topic that you want to. So basically, that is the introduction. We are saying what it is. What ones the room sorrow kuno always. Those are mirror one my picture kuno. A picture are gonna. These pictures. Saka mirrors room so. Munakanga kuziva what is here. Aguzazu kuno. So then I can click on any one of these and like that. Okay, all right. This will be this one. So first of all, I want you to master. It's a test. I believe it's a test. So I'm now going to start by showing you how to create users or agents. When I talk about evolution, we're no longer talking of users. We're now talking of agents. I'm only bringing in my users. Why? Because that's what you know. At Canada evolution, we talk about agents. So we're going to start by creating agents. And for one to be able to create an agent, you click on administration, then agent administration, then you have got agents who are the users. Also, you've got agent groups. My groups, they are just groups. Like an organization can have a group of managers as a group, accountants as a group, account clerks as a group. So you may create my user groups if you want. You may not create them if you don't want. But still in leadership, NEMA groups are equal, administrators and agents. Those are the two groups. I know the leadership in this. So for you to be able to do that, I think you have seen what I've done. I've clicked on administration, then agent administration, then I've clicked on agent groups. Then it has taken me to this window. Let's say for your particular organization, you want to create the various groups that you want to create. When you are in this window now, if you want to add another group, you just click on it. And click on it. Then you give that group a name. And give that group a name. The group name can also be the description. Right? If you want to put in my comments, you can put in my comments. If you want to add my members, you can add my members. If you want to assign my incidents, you can assign my incidents. But I'm saying this is outside the scope of your syllabus, right? There will be defaults. We just call the access permissions, system tree. You can also set a system tree for your agents. And you can set system tree for your agents. But this is we're not going to be doing that, right? Okay, just wait for it to do whatever it does there. Agency, it's not a big issue. It's not a big issue groups. So this will be the system tree. I'm going to talk about the system tree when we create a user. But for my groups, so that is if you want to add another group. But normally we say at times there is no need, unless if there is need. If there is, then you do that. Then you add your group. In the case to assign my members, that is if you want. But we're not going to create another group. So I'm just going to cancel. That was just for demonstration. But now we have to see how do we create my users. This is now important because my users, you create them whichever way. You are the one who is managing the system. You create the users. But if you are not the one who is managing the system, it means somebody else will also create the users. But you have to know how my users. And then you become in charge of that. So how do you create my users from agents? You are clicking on administration, agent administration, then you're clicking on agents. Right? When you do that, you are taken to this window, and you see this window. But still, shipper in my users, in a admin, what I built-in system, in a guest, then in a system. Right? Now, for us to add another user, we click on add. Click on add. Right? When you click on add, it brings up this window. Add new agent. Then you see that there are a number of tabs here. There are a number of tabs. There are a number of tabs here. But the first thing that you have to do, we're not going to be, we're going to be dealing with certain tabs. We're not going to be dealing with every tab. Right? The first thing that you have to do is now to put in the agent details. The agent details, I think the partner, it can be the person's name, or it can be job granita. Maybe this person is a cash book. Accountant. This person is an accountant. This is a big organization. Some accountants are one. Then is James Jones. So you put in the full name there, James Jones. Then description. Description can be accounted again, right? See, evolution, because it's a enterprise resource planning. You know that looks like one. So we've got agent name, accountant. We've got full name, James Jones. Then description, accountant. Then first full name, first last name. Then you have to put in the password, right? Right. You can put in password hint if you want, right? Then here there are buyer options and the biometric. This is an ERP. Sakairuti zimengua mdamba maseta the biometric. Kana istopinda babasa biometric yake nenge kato set kwa bozi nenge kalingwa ne payroll huko. Sai that pa no pinda ndo record pa no kula no record. Is he an agent? Is the agent a buyer? And so these ones are not. Now, then back Sage Pay user details. Sage Pay, it's a payroll system. It didn't get a link to evolution. So I can have a payroll. Username and password, so you put a pin. You get it, right? What you are saying is an ERP. So I need to link on the payroll. But this is not going to be using this. This person is not a buyer. We're not setting up biometric. We're also not linking up with the payroll. But the software set up. Then we are saying again, as I said, we've got a number of tips here. Some of the tips they are applicable, others are not. We'll start maybe the contact. Here we can put in my contact details. Okay, this agent. If we want, we can put in the contact details of the agent. So we'll put in everything there. If we want, we can also put the addresses and it was the system here. Maybe this accountant is an employee and the term that figures should not link any pay. So we'll also put in the addresses. We'll also put in my options. My options are in deputy planeta log in. Nequita set of out of office. That's why I'm saying you need to have this software installed. Because until you can see it as I'm lecturing, in as much as I'm going item by item, I'm not dwelling on each item. So if you've got the software, it means you yourself, when you create a user, you have time to now dwell on each item. And I'm not doing that. We don't want this user to change password on logging in next, right? So you have to read this and see and make the necessary changes. If we have got retail or POS set up, because you know, we can now set the parameters here, but we're not going to be doing that. Then these are the defaults. The defaults negative. If there are any defaults in terms of line discounts and everything, we set up that, right? Then the page defaults, if you want to set up page defaults, we set up that. So some of these buttons, I think you have seen, I have not done anything, right? I've only dealt with the general, right? We've got the purchase order. If this person was a buyer, then we're going to set up the parameters here. We're not going to do that. Then we are also groups. If you want to link this user agent to a agent group, then we're going to select the group, or we're going to set up a new group. We're not going to do that. Then access permissions. Here under access permissions, that's where we are giving this person what he or she can do on evolution. But we're not going to do it here. We're going to use the system tree. The system tree allows you to allocate. It's much easier and faster way of setting up a user. What does the user see when he logs into evolution? This is a very important area. All right, Canada accountant, we want the user to see almost everything. I don't know, right? But let's say maybe it's a cash book clerk. It means that user will be limited to certain areas. So under the system tree, that's where you set right? And how do you do that? You click on design system tree, then you click on default. Click on default, right? When you click on default, it will say design system tree, all customization will be permanently lost. Are you sure you want to revert to the default system tree? Then you say yes, because you want it to give you the chance to edit the system tree. So you say yes. Then when you say yes, you wait for it to run. When it does run, it will activate, you see, it will activate certain areas that will allow you to add items and remove items. And that is what is important. So we're waiting for it to do that. Let's wait. Right. It's taking a bit of time. Right. So basically, we want it to activate this plus. We also want it to activate this minus. So that's what we are waiting for it to run and activate those two areas. Once they are activated, those two areas to give rights, rights from that agent or from that user. Right? Wait. Okay. It was running, it stopped running, but it has not activated what we wanted to activate. Okay, now it's activated. So now the system tree is what you see here. File view dashboard, what? See what you see up here. File view. This is what we're going to be allocating. Now we have to select this user we are creating. Do we want this user to be viewing everything on the system? That would be the question. If we want the user to be viewing everything on the system, then we let it as it is. But if we don't want, then we're going to be taking off something, then we're getting something, depending on what the user requires, right? So you see, like, change password. Yeah, we may allow the user to change password. Change session date. Depending on the position of this user, we may not want the user to change session date, and that is the transaction date. So we'll take off that. You see, that's how you take off. That's how you take off, right? My desktop, do you want the user to see my desktop? If you want the user to see my desktop, we leave it that way. If you don't want, we take it off. Right? So that's how you allocate. So I'm going to be removing some things like internet. Okay, internet links. I'm going to then municipality billing. I'm removing it. Data import. I'm removing it. I'm removing that. Maybe intelligence. I'll leave it. Then I'll remove that. Advanced procurement. I'm removing that. Inventory optimization. I'm removing. Now, whatever I'm removing, I'm saying it has nothing to do with the user. That's why I'm taking it off. So when the user logs in, the user won't be able to see those items. Maybe point of sale, I'm also taking it off. That is retail point of sale, that I'm also taking off that. Then the contact management, probably I'm also taking off that. Annuity billing, I'm also again taking off that. Then maybe probably I'm just leaving the user with these items. What it means is when this user logs in, this is what the user will be able to see. This is what the user will be able to work in. What is important is when you're getting an agent or a user, so that user aite zvisinei naye takataura nezvafupata aiita kupati, you need to know. And tuti pasystem tree ndo paunomupa zvacho zvafanga achiona nezvafanga asingaoni. When you are happy, click on OK to create the user. So you click on OK. Right. When you click on OK, you wait for it to create the user. It may take a bit of time because it's a gigantic software. It's a bit big. So it may take a bit of minutes. Just have to wait for it to do that. Okay. I don't know now if you can hear me. Right. I have unmuted. I've unmuted. Can you hear me? So I don't know now. Okay, because I don't know when you last heard me. I may have to repeat. I may have to repeat some things here. Can you hear me now? All right. So yes, okay, that's good. I'd want to know. Okay, when was it last when you last heard me? Because I was now under talking about maintenance. I was now under maintenance, and I had spoke about creation of auto text. Did you get that? Creation of auto text. I want to know if you got the issue of creation of auto text, where I was saying under maintenance now, that's where we are creating. And you remember, when we were doing partner, we used edit to create. But all right, so I'm going to repeat everything under maintenance from where I began, right? Under maintenance, that's where we create. When we're doing partner, we used edit to create, but in evolution, we create under maintenance, right? And I was saying, under maintenance, I'm not going to be talking about everything that is there, because some of the items which are there are not applicable to our studies. This is an enterprise resource planning software, so it was got lots of issues. Some of them which are not relevant. I'll give you an example. You can see this alert management. It has to do with mobile sales, right? Sales people. We have got maybe point of sale. For our syllabus, we are using point of sale for our studies. So some of the items I'm not going to be talking about them. I'm going to talk about common. There are certain issues I'm going to talk about there under common. I'm going to talk about text, certain issues under text, then general ledger, where we create general ledger accounts, as well as budgets, accounts receivable, where we are creating customers, accounts payable, where we are creating suppliers. Then I will also talk about inventory, where we are creating inventory items. So those are the areas that I'm going to be touching under maintenance. The rest, they are outside the scope of our syllabus, and I'm not going to be touching on those ones. So I had begun on common, right? That's where I had begun on. Then I was talking about auto text, where I was saying auto text, you are creating those descriptions that you use frequently. And I had given an example of payment. Okay, we do payments from time to time by the cash book. So instead of you typing in payment each time that you are processing a payment in the cash book, you create an auto text whereby when you get to description, you just pick that auto text that you created. It cuts on time, it saves your time, because you do not have to type in each time. And how do you create it? I'm going to delete the one I had created, so I'll just delete that. Delete auto text, yes, that's what I want to delete. How do you do that? That's why I said you click on maintenance, you come to common, then you are saying auto text. Then when you say auto text, it will take you to this window. You see this window that you are seeing, right? For you to add an auto text, you click on add, right? When you click on add, you have to put in a short name or short code of the auto text. Like this one, I'm just calling it payment, so I'm saying PMT as the short code. Then I'm typing in the description, payment, right? This will be the auto text. I'll be using this auto text each time maybe I'm processing a payment. So I create it by clicking on OK. So you find once I click OK, the auto text is here, right? And I said you can add as many auto text as you want. These, they are only useful by speeding up your processing, because you don't have to be typing in the description each time. You see what I'm saying, right? So if you want to delete it, you just select and click on delete. If you want to edit, you click and edit. That is on auto text. That's how you create auto text under maintenance, right? That is that, right? Come back to maintenance, common, then banks. I was talking about banks, and I said, right, okay, it's bringing up that error. Let me see if I can fix it, right? Yes, maintenance, common, banks. See if we can. We failed to I may have to restart it. Let's just see if it's able to load the banks. Yes, okay, yes. So under banks, I was saying, okay, evolution ships with a number of banks. The majority of them are South African banks. Okay, you find Namibian Bank, First National Bank, Namibia. But these are South African banks which have opened branches in Swaziland, Namibia, and the rest. Right? They are South African banks, right? You see. So, right, mabenga andana hitting in anengari mokudara anoshanda for electronic funds transfer. And electronic funds transfer inoshanda how? You see, instead of us, and you see when I want to process a payment, right? Or maybe I just do it internet banking. So electronic funds transfer in Kushanda like the internet banking. But the way it works now, the evolution system is integrated with our bank, such that whenever we want to make a payment, we originate the payment on the evolution system, right? It's authorized on the system. Then an instruction is sent electronically to the bank. The bank does the transfer. Then it updates. Right? Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, my evolution is having challenges. Let me load it and repeat on banks. I think we're going to try and touch on a number of items under common. Yeah, it's starting to give me errors, but you will try to soldier on. So it's just giving me errors. Errors are coming from both ends. Yeah. Screen. So let me just end this. Go in again. Yes. Okay. It's beginning to give me issues with sharing my screen. All right. Let me. Yes, it's giving me issues with sharing my screen, and yes, I have to. Yes, I'm logging in again. Yes, so I'm having issues sharing my screen here. So I have to keep on trying. I'm logging in again. It had booted me out. Yes, but we are continuing. We have to soldier on. We've got some time, and I hope we'll be able to touch on a number of issues under maintenance. The whole idea is when we do maintenance, you're able now to create. You should not have difficulties. Why? Because we did partner. You have done your picnic. So my job is just to show you the interface. This is a new interface, probably to one or two people. So you just need to know how to navigate, which that's what I'm doing here. Once we have shown you how to navigate, you should now be able to process. So we're going to deal with maintenance, and when we are done with maintenance, we now move on to processing, where we will show you how to process. Then we also show you how to generate reports. Then we practice, right? I think we'll be home and dry. We want to spend most of our time practicing. So it's putting me out. Yes, it's booting me out. So yes, it's booting me out. My screen sharing, but we keep on logging in so that we complete this. I think for a bit of time, done by F1. Right. So it's kicking me out. Right. Okay. So I'm logging in, back in again. Screen sharing is very challenges, but anyway, it's okay. So I was talking about banks, and I was saying, I was talking about banks. Right, I was talking about banks, and I was saying I'm just going to speed up this because yes, I'm having problems sharing my screen. But anyway, it's okay. I was saying this is applicable for electronic funds. I'll just explain the background of it. So if you want to add a bank, you just click on that, then you put in a bank name, then you put in the branch transfer code. Let's say that is if you need to, maybe you want to use this electronic funds transfer. So let's don't maybe stand the bank. Just say Zimbabwe because you need to know which stand bank. South Africa. Then you put in the branch code. Then if the bank is active, you put it active. Then you click on it. Once you do that, you find that bank is added. Right. So we continue under common maintenance common. We talk of branches. Branches, they are more like cost centers. Maybe your organization has got branches right across Zimbabwe. You've got a branch in Mashingo, branch in Beru, branch in Nawayo, or everywhere else. So if you are to add a branch, you're clicking on maintenance, you're clicking on common, then you're coming to branches. Then when you do that, it will load up this window. Then if you are to add a new branch, just click on add. And it's simple, it's not difficult. So let's say maybe this is Mashingo. You can just put in a, you can put in a short, I don't know how to put in, I'll put that for machine, right? Then you type in the branch name, like maybe Mashingo branch. So you can use this to process your sales, to process your what, you see where it works. So you have that as a, so the branch name or the branch can be also a cost center. So it will prompt you, do you want to run branch accounting in an offline environment? Okay, we're not doing branch accounting. So we're not going to activate that. We're not going to activate all that. We're just showing you how to create branches, right? Then it's logging me off, right? It's logging me off, it's okay. It's logging me off. So log in again. Okay. Now that we had created a branch, it will prompt us to log in, using that branch. Because we had created a branch, you can log in using that branch. So creation of branches irikupinda patiri kushandisa branch accounting. Patiri kushandisa branch accounting. Which screen do I want to share? Patiri kushandisa branch accounting ndio parikupinda issue yekukreate ma branches, like what we had done. But if we are not using branch accounting, you are not creating the branches. Actually, we don't urge you to create more branches, because if you're not using branch accounting, there is no need for you to create branches. And the branch accounting is outside the scope of your syllabus. inoshanda papi painoshanda ndepekuti I'll give you for example Toyota Zimbabwe ine branch accountant anenge achitora accountant akazara akutoita accounting that particular branch saka system yake ine zvese but now paari kutoprocessa matransactions ari kufeeda into the head office saka configuration yacho ndekuti inenge yakasetwa yakanzi head office then yakanzi head office mabranches anenge achita accounts dzawo dzichifeeda into the head office server dzichitono-updata the respective ledgers but uyo ari kuhead office achikwanisa kuona the accounting by branch saka ndopanopinda issue yekucreatwa kwema-branches. That is if you are using branch accounting. But if you are not using branch accounting, there is no need for you to create the branches. To create a branch is simple. I think you've seen what I've done. You are putting in a shortcode, then you are putting in the branch name. We don't test you on creation of the branches. We don't test you on that. But it's something that you need to know. Right? So let's wait for it to. So you can see there, the branch has been created. Mashingo branch. If you want to add another one, you just click on add. Let's wait for it to complete so that we proceed under common. It's going to be a bit painstaking, but we have to do this. I know some will be saying, process. No, you have to do this administration. It's very important. You don't do this every day. You do it once, like what we are doing. Then you're set up, good to go. Right? Let's go back to maintenance under common. You create now Kanban bank accounts. Right? These are now Kanban bank accounts, what you create. The actual bank accounts that the Kanban has. So how do you create them? I think you've seen what I did. Maintenance, common, then the Kanban bank accounts. Once you click there, it will take you to this window, and you click on add. Then now here, that's where you're putting in the bank accounts, a company, bank account name, maybe this will be a AC Limited, was no Zita. Where is the account kept? It's kept at Stanbic Bank, Zimbabwe. What is the bank account number? You can put in the bank account number. What is the branch? Branch maybe First Street. I'm just using this as an example. Don't know if there is a First Street branch. What is the bank reference number? There is a reference, you put in the reference. What is the branch code? You put in the branch code. Is there an account limit for this? If you are using electronic funds transfer, you set up that company code, company name, reference, electronic funds transfer details, layout, everything. You set up that. If you are using that, then you click on OK. So you have set up a bank account. That's how you set up. So you have got, if you have got NMB, you do the same. What you do the same. You set up the bank account. That's how you set them up. Let's go back to maintenance. Common, right? Cost centers. My cost centers, I think simple and straightforward. We've done this. So if you are creating a cost centers can be departments, sales department, human resource department. They are only allowing you to allocate an expense to a particular center or to a particular unit. It allows allocation to a particular unit. It could be anything. So how do you add my cost centers? You're saying maintenance, common, then you're saying cost centers. Then when you do that, it takes you to this window. You click on add for you to add a cost center. You just give a short name of that cost center. They say human, actually, human resource department. I have chosen that as, because they are also going to talk about departments. So, what human resources, source department. But from the look of it, it shows within the human resource department, there could be a cost center, probably a payroll. And it was human resource, we've got a number of issues. So I cost center payroll. Then here we choose a department. We haven't created a department. So this will be the cost center, payroll. Then the department will be human resources. Then we say, okay. So it will create a cost center there. That's how you create a cost center. It's simple, right? It's not bad for analysis of transactions. Then under here, I'm not going to talk about electronic funds transfer file layout. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about EU countries or not in the EU. I'm not going to talk about foreign currency. We're not doing multi currency. I'm not going to talk about notes, priorities, projects, the same as cost centers. States, I'm not going to talk about that because it's not applicable to Zimbabwe, but to countries like Nigeria, United States, they could be applicable. Company details, these are our company details. If you just want to check which are accurate and correct, I'm not going to talk about job management. So here, basically, it's auto text, banks, branches. Branches, no, don't do branches because you're doing branch accounting. Company bank accounts, then cost centers. Cost centers. Then you are done. Departments, we're going to deal with them here under general ledger. So you see, general ledger, also talk about that. So these things are simple and straightforward. Complicated. I think you saw putting in a shortcut, then putting in the description, then you are good to go, right? Then let's proceed to text under maintenance. The text that we're talking about here is value added text. Value added text. I think by now, at your level, Marcos out text pay as income tax, capital gains tax, what. But here we're talking about value added tax. You have to know when you are invoicing customers, you have to know when you are also buying from suppliers. But for you to be able to use that, you should have set up that value added tax. Evolution in tax, but it's a value added tax. Right? So under that, you've got my text groups, you've got my text types. Then you've got this text box mapping, textbooks setup, then text defaults. Right? We will talk about text groups first, value added text groups. So we click there just to see what is there. Right? So evolution by default, we are in my text groups. My text groups are not created automatically or not create your company database. The system knows better. The system knows better. So who created this. But after you have developed the knowledge, you can now add or delete the text groups. But we don't encourage you to delete or add. Was or not delete or add also it means you're going to do the wrong thing. So I'm saying because the system for create a way where your database, but create the text groups. You don't have to do anything. You just have to click and view and say, oh, it's good, right? Then you go back to maintenance. Still under text, you click on text types. Again, on the text type, your evolution, we are shipa, the text type are equal. You can see to have got how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We've got about 13 text types. But what you need to know is what we have got one, the standard rate. So you double click on the standard rate. Then you change the text rate. Because text rate currently it's not at 15%, it's at 14.5%. So you have to click there and change the rate only. Everything else you leave it as it is. Then you click on OK. So the standard rate, you have to change it. Even the capital goods imported, you have to change the rate to 14.5%. I'm going to point out the ones that you use frequently that you have to make sure they are using the correct rate. So mostly it's the standard rate. You can change them to 15% to 14.5% and 15%. The zero rated, we leave them as they are. So as 15%, you have to double click. You change the rate to 14.5 because 14.5 currently is the rate that we have. The one in Noshandi is the standard rate. You have to make sure that in a 14%. Saka, you are not exactly adding any rate there or any text type because the text type is already there. What you are dealing with is the percentage. It's the percentage. When you click on bed tests, you are dealing with the percentage because it's the one which changes from time to time. Evolution had to send a partner. Both partner, if you remember, we had to create the text types. And we had to put in the text type and put in the percentage, put in the range. This evolution comes with the text types, but you have to check rates because they change, as we said, each year the Minister of Finance announces a budget. Zimbabwe changes the rate, Zimbabwe doesn't change the rate. Whenever the rate changes, you have to come maintenance, text types, then you're taken to this window, then you change the rates accordingly. Right? That is that on text types. We go back to maintenance, text types. Then I spoke about text box mapping, where I said, if you remember, I hope you remember, where I said it's already in but it's no longer applicable because we used to do this particular the manual of returns. But now it's no longer applicable. So you don't have to do anything there. You are just watching and saying, okay, this is the text mapping. You leave it as it is, right? You don't have to do anything. The same goes on text box setup. Again, you don't have to do anything. Don't do anything there. You just view and say it's good. Then you're done. Then again, the text defaults. Nothing again there. Was Tatisusu inoshanda is the normal text. Selector. If you remember, we selected it, but set our database. So the rest you leave it as it is. You just view and leave it as it is. Right? So issue reported under text and it maintenance text. You are mostly dealing with text types. That's what you are mostly dealing with. These text types, that's what you are dealing with. Because your concern is to change the rate. You have value added text. And the text that you are dealing with is value added text. That has to be known. So you are only changing that under text. We examine you on that because basically in changing the text type. So let's allow it to run and we proceed accordingly. I think we're now moving on to the general ledger. Under maintenance, so that we quickly move to processing of transactions. So now we are done with text. You have to know this. Text types. This is the key area that you have to know, right? We're now moving on to general ledger. Under general ledger, no create a SUSMA account. But I create a SUSU our database or our company file. Remember, we chose general of accounts, standard chart of accounts. So my accounts are going to but if we want to edit or if we want to add another account, we're saying maintenance, general ledger, then accounts. I'm just going to touch on these items in the order they are in. So when you click on accounts, you find it will give us my accounts are accounts. The account number, you see the account number there, and also the account description. Here.